I will draw the latent variables. Okay, so I'll draw these 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, parental support, that's 4. So peer support 1 to 4. So I'm gonna draw peer support 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 item statements. 4 item statements. 4 item statements. Please remember. Then we have career exploratory decisional action. We have 4 item statements. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have significant order, 4 item statements. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have self-efficacy 1 to 5. So I'm going to drop 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then outcome expectation, 4 items. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is unnamed project. So I'm going to save AMOS, and I'm going to save as YouTube CFA 1. So at this point, I will need to readjust my model so that it will be able to contain what I want to do. So I will use the rotation. I will say 1, 2, 3. I like this to look at this, so you can always rotate this, and maybe I can rotate this, can rotate this. If I want to shift any of the model that I have drawn now, I can simply check here. I will highlight, because if you do not highlight, they will not move. Okay, they will not move. So I will use move objects. I can draw this, so when I move it around, you can see it can move because I've selected them, right? Well, so if you do not select them well, they will not be able to move. So when I'm done, I will deselect them. So the next thing is I will import my data sets. So to import my data sets, so I will import my data sets. So I have 291 of 291, and which means that I do not have any missing data set here. Once you import your data into AMOS from SPSS, they are going to load here on this list variable in data set. So you can actually draw this, so you can see all the variables here. So this is parental support, so I'm going to drop this parental support. Be careful when you're dragging and dropping. It has to, this place must highlight before you drop it. 2, parental support 3, parental support item statement number 4. Okay, PS support item statement number 1, PS support item statement number 2, PS support item statement number 3, PS support item statement number 4, career decision item statement number 1, career decision item statement number 2, career exploratory decision action statement number 3, and then item statement number 4. Then we have significant order, which is item statement number 1. We have item statement number 2, item statement number 3, item statement number 4 here. And then we have self-efficacy, which has 5 items. Item statement number 1, item statement number 2, drag and drop. Item statement number 3. You need to be extremely careful when you're doing this, because if you mix them up, you're going to encounter some challenges. Outcome expectations number 1, outcome expectations number 2, drag and drop. Outcome expectations number 3, outcome expectations number 4. I need to draw your attention that this is the model that we are testing right now in my own research context. Okay, this is a theory. This is a theory, social cognitive career theory of career self-management model. So I'm replicating this in my own study context. So now that I'm done, I'm going to close this. And then the next thing I need to do is to name my variables. Remember, this is parental support, this is decision, this is decision, this is significant order, this is outcome expectations, this is self-efficacy, so I can have this efficacy, and there's another one here which is peers influence, that's this one, peers influence, something like this. Okay, or I can just use influence here. I can just use parental. Let me just use parental so I keep it simple. Efficacy, significant. So I'm going to have significant order, and then yeah. So here I can decide to use labels to make them look good if I want. So I can now write them parental support. Okay, peers influence. Here I can write this in full. Significant order, I can write this in full. Self-efficacy, I can write this in full. Outcome expectations, yeah, I can have this as exploratory decision, action. Okay, I can just leave it simple like this, action. Okay, so the next thing, now that I have named my variables, okay, the next thing I need to do is to name my unobserved variables. So I'm going to name them. So I use this plugin. Once you click name unobserved variables, then these error terms we now be named. The next thing to do is to resize my unobserved my observed variables. Okay, and then now that I have done that, the next thing I need to do is I want to draw these parts so they can look a little bit better. Drag them. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. So remember, I will select all of them and drag them, drag them a little bit. Then I will deselect. Then I want to make this look beautiful. Okay. So the next thing is to drag this part so this can look good. So why I'm selecting all of them is to make sure that any action that I take will affect all of them once. Then I will do same for the other side. Select this, Okay, so I will select, then I will draw them out. I will deselect. Then I want to move this a little so it can join this group. So I will select and I will drag it a little bit, move it away from this way. And then I will save AMOS. So at this point, the next thing I need to do is to draw the relationships, the covariates between these variables with their factor loadings. And remember, these are now known as the factor loadings, okay? And so this is now showing us how these item statements are aligning with each to the variables. So look at this point here. It said, it helps researchers to evaluate how well a set of observed variables, such as survey items, aligns with the underlying constructs they intend to measure. So back to AMOS, so you can see this analysis will be able to tell us how well these item statements are now aligning well with the constructs, the variables that we want to measure. So the next thing I do is to draw the relationship, the covariates. At this point, the next thing is to begin to run the analysis.